Hello and welcome to episode 13 of VocTer Gaming. I'm your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain, and what a week I picked to do a week on PuMa. I know a lot of you watching these won't know the situation that's going on. Essentially, PuMa was with a team, TSL. They housed him at the team house out in South Korea, and he came over to North America for the North American Star League. And he won the whole thing, but as he got to the round of 4, he was approached by a North American team, EG, notable players being like Idra and In Control and that lot, and they offered him a contract. Because he wasn't contracted to TSL out in Korea, he wasn't salaried with them. The only money he made was anything he won in tournaments. So EG approached him and offered him a contract in a salaried position, and he took it. Now, anywhere else, that would not cause that much of a fuss. But EG did not approach the TSL coach, which is kind of what's considered the done thing in these situations. And as it is, everyone is kind of up in arms about it. There's like a 6 million page thread on Team Liquid about it at the moment. And I thought, just before we start this game, I'd chip in with my thoughts on it. I understand where both sides are coming from. I can understand the TSL coach's frustration. You know, you've taken a player, you've housed him, you've looked after him, you've helped train him, and then he's gone away for more money. However, I can't see EG as being in the wrong about this. They are, like every other StarCraft 2 team, they're a business. They exist to make money. And if you can offer a player as good as PuMa more money, why wouldn't you? That makes no sense to me, you know. To give an idea of where I'm coming from, I come from British wrestling, where no one at all ever is contracted, and it sucks for everyone involved. It means that if you make me your big champion and put me in the biggest storyline you've ever done, I can no-show a show. I can just not turn up because I'm not on a contract. I can go up for someone else. And it sucks for the wrestlers because you've no job security. The same company that you could no-show for could just decide, we don't want to use you anymore. And that's it. It doesn't help anyone to not have these contracts. And for me, I think this could be a good development. I think players should be signed to contracts. Otherwise be free to move about like this. I really cannot see why there's this whole furore about it. I can understand why it's caused the reaction it has, and I mean a lot of people don't like EG to begin with because they can be slightly shady, they can be slightly bad manner, as it's referred to. And I can understand the worry that, you know, Korean teams won't want to send their players out to the foreign scene anymore in case they get sniped or poached or whatever, but that's still going to happen. It's going to happen wherever they are. And it's just going to hurt those teams more. Like, if you, as a team, then restrict your players to the tournaments they can play in, they're gonna search out other opportunities themselves to leave for teams that will be less restrictive. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on, and that's my thoughts about it. Of course, we do have a game to watch today. We have, of course, PuMa versus KingKong Game 2. This is on Crevasse, and we are going to get going right about now. Spawning in the northwest position is EGPuMa, and spawning in the southwest position is StarTale's KingKong. And of course, another reason this is a problem is because TSL has lost quite a few high-profile players over the last few months, which I think is kind of indicative of, if I can say that, of perhaps the opportunities they give their players. Perhaps the players are just finding that elsewhere is better for them. And I hope it works out for everyone. You know, I don't want TSL as a team to die. I don't think they should. I think they're a very good team. And on the other hand, I want PuMa to continue to be as successful as he is. One thing I have to say is, those people saying that PuMa's done something horrible because TSL trained him and took him and all this, and that I'm sorry, but that's a load of rubbish. You know, he wasn't plucked from obscurity. He was on Eastro beforehand in Brood War. You know, this isn't some kid that just turned up out of nowhere and TSL made him great. He was a great player that TSL picked up on the cheap, didn't have to pay him a salary, and I think got a lot of use out of him and a lot of exposure out of him. I think it was a good situation for both teams, and now PuMa's moved on. And unfortunately, it's just caused a massive storm of bad will at the moment. But like most things, I'm sure it will pass, and people will mostly forget about it. Now, if I could just talk about the map a bit, we are on Crevasse, which is a GSL map, I believe, and it is absolutely massive. Which means the tactic we saw from PuMa in yesterday's game, the 6 billion racks Reaper, is not going to work. Simply put, you cannot do it. The rush distance is so long, it takes nearly like an in-game minute to get from here all the way to here with Marines on foot. So it's just not going to happen. By the time you get there with proper scouting, everything's going to be defended. You're going to have 6 spine crawlers in your way, 4 evo chambers, and 1,000,000 billion zerglings. As we notice, both players choosing to expand first. Very, very good on a map like this, map this size, because the rush distances are so long. What I predict KingKong will do is expand to here as well very shortly after. This is kind of the safe in-base expansion. It has only got 1 gas, but that's fine, because at this point the Zerg will have 4 gas. That is more than enough to make his Mutalisks and make his Infestors, and the extra minerals on what is essentially a safe base is far better than expanding elsewhere where there's only 1 gas anyway. So that's a very safe thing to do. So you can see 1 gas going down finally from PuMa here, so we're definitely not, he's not going to get... What's going on here? This SCV for some reason has stopped building the command center. This is a horrendous mistake. I have no idea what's going on. And he's finally noticed it, thank God, but Jesus, what a failure. So we see 2 racks going down here, going to go all the way up to 3 racks before he gets a gas and a tech lab. While we see this hatchery again morphing to the quick lair, which is going to mean very, very early Mutalisks, which is going to really harm PuMa. I'm sorry, I can't get over that mistake. I can't get over accidentally taking the SCV off building. That's just a horrendous, horrendous mistake to make. As we see, still scouting out extra bases. As we see, hasn't scouted even where KingKong is yet. This is terrible play from PuMa. All I can suspect is that he won the last game so handily that he slacked off slightly in this game. As we see the factory going down now, using that first 100 gas to build the factory, and dropping another gas up here, so that if KingKong comes into scout, he will only see 1 gas here, or the 1 gas here, and that can make him assume different things about what PuMa's doing. This SCV finally does get in, sees the expansion but doesn't see anything else, could have any kind of tech. Will have seen this lair, however, if we just check. No! This is absolutely terrible play from PuMa. So does not know the lair is there, does not know that this spire is going to be building, spire and baneling nest building. This could be absolutely horrendous. This could be a crushing for EGPuMa. Just after I've been talking about how brilliant he is. This is some really sloppy play. As we see stim packs now being upgraded, which is going to help. But this is horrendous play so far. We see a few more overlords just drifting around the map. Very good to spread them about, as he's done here and here. Allows you to watch for drops. As these Zerglings now will watch for any kind of push. And you can see what he's doing there is he's never going to get in. He knows that. What he's doing is checking on the amount of Marines that are here, and also seeing that nothing's moved out. If he runs up here and doesn't get attacked, or there's only a couple there, he knows a drop is coming somewhere on the map. Do you see the tech lab with siege going down? A second bunker being built in an attempt to stop any kind of baneling bust going on. As we come back here, we see the nest is finished and the spire is now down, which means 7 Mutalisks are now in production. as these speedlings check the map, taking the Zelnaga watchtowers as so. Again, allowing you to watch for any kind of big push that comes. So we see all the Marines now moving out from the bunkers and are going to make their way down the map as we see KingKong expand to this safe natural. And we come back just in time to watch a Zergling die. Zerg Flyer attacks level 1 going down, which means these mutas are going to be very, very effective at harassing. You want to get a nice big flock of them. At the moment we have 7 out. An 8th is somewhere on the map, heading to join up with these, and we're going to watch what happens as they come in. Now you can do a lot of things with this. You can do what he's doing here, which is harassing the mineral line. You could have tried to snipe that tech lab before Stimpack finished, which would have been absolutely horrendous. That would have been the game over right there if he'd managed it. As it is, all these Marines are forcing him out. Stimpack is now finished. But again, just attacking this supply depot. If you can supply block your opponent for a while, always good, stops them bringing out new units, and he manages it, takes that supply depot. Really slow response there from PuMa. Could probably have killed a few meters, but does not want to show stim yet. As we see now a whole force of speedlings moving out on the map, and Burrow being researched, which is going to allow Baneling bombs, or Baneling landmines. If we cut in here, we see the eBay gone down. We see missile turrets going to help against these mutas as they try and harass, but again, just too much. At the moment, you do not have the mutas to take out that missile turret before it does damage, and now we see a large force from PuMa moving out on the map. This needs to do a lot of damage. He does have the starport pumping out medevacs. He has factories with siege tanks. He has 3 barracks here, and as we see, the mutas trying to do some harass, not getting much done, and now going to be taking out these rocks to allow him an easy access pass through here. Now, as we come into the base, we see speedlings and mutas here. This is going to take down any kind of reinforcements that PuMa could send down here. It's going to take down all these workers. This is horrendous. This push needs to kill KingKong. If this push does not kill him, these mutas and these speedlings will destroy everything in this base, as we see the missile turret now going down. And if we come back here, we see so many Marines, 3 siege tanks doing so much damage. All these tech structures are going to go down. He's losing the Baneling nest, he's losing the spire, and he will lose that lair. That's horrendous. But coming back into this base, we see the speedlings still doing so much damage. We see the mutas killing everything in their path. This push needs to finish it as the lair goes down. This is what we call a base trade, as everything here will die, but so many Banelings now! Oh, brilliant! So many Marines go down! Oh, that's horrendous, loses nearly half his Marines. Oh, brilliant move from KingKong, and there even more Marines go down. All the Marines gone, simply 3 siege tanks left, so many meters in this base, and there's the GG. That was such sloppy play from PuMa. That is the worst I've seen him play in a long time. And that allowed KingKong to really just completely ruin him. Absolutely fantastic play from KingKong though. I cannot take anything away from him. This time, going the fast leg, going the fast muta, getting the Baneling nest really did work out for him. Allowed him to pull PuMa about. And meant that when PuMa moved out with those forces, even though KingKong couldn't engage directly, he could sidestep him, take out any reinforcements, meaning those units were stranded out on the map, and forced him into a situation where he had to do something with them. He had to attack, he had to win. Coming back was no good, because that just allows KingKong then to get further ahead, to get the Infestors up, to get the Infestor Mutalisk or the Infestor Broodlord combo, or to expand the entire bottom half of the map. Okay, that is everything in the game for today. Don't forget, you can join us in the gaming channel. That's irc.funetic.net /gaming. Please come hang out. Game of the month, as always. Still currently Borderlands, as we've not hit August yet. We've yet to decide on the next game of the month, so if you have any suggestions for good games, please don't hesitate to give us a shout in the channel, or of course at the email, or in the comments, or at the YouTube channel.